Have you ever wondered about unlocking your body's hidden potential? Well, what if I told you that the secret lies in understanding your chakras and your energy system? But beware of misleading advice and temporary fixes that only scratch the surface of true energy alignment. We must look beyond the chakras a little bit and first understand the entire energetic system that underpins them. Now, the chakras are energy centers or energetic hubs located in the human body that are connected to different aspects of physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. Now, there are 7 main chakras. Perhaps we could say there's 6 in the body and 1 maybe at the crown. Nonetheless, each of these are associated with a different color and they're located at a specific point along the spine. Now, that's not trivial information. That's important to know because our spine is where our karma is stored. Nonetheless, over the years, as people have come to work with us in our school for spiritual development, the Yogic tradition, there have been some common themes that have come up a lot when people come after perhaps an experience happens in one of these centralized areas like a chakra. So let's look at some of the misunderstandings and then we can have a look a little bit more deeply at the energetic system that underpins them for clarity. So sometimes I meet people who've had an experience and they've been told by somebody else or they've read it in a book that they've had a chakra awakening. So this person, they know something has happened in their system, but they've been given advice that isn't particularly or necessarily helpful. Some come wanting to open specific chakras to gain cool abilities or sort something specific out in their life, and others have a clear imbalance in their energetic system and that's causing them pain perhaps, or blockages or a blocked feeling in certain chakra points, and they want to get rid of that. But for me though, why would you want to get rid of it? I get it, like I am human, I understand that some of these experiences can be uncomfortable, but don't you want to understand the nature of these things a little bit deeper? Like, do you really want to just get rid of it and go back to your old life rather than perhaps have the humility to get curious about what more there could be for you in this life? To me, it's like somebody digging up 50 kilograms of gold but then saying, actually, that's too heavy to carry, I'll just leave it there. Look, there is no doubting that experiences in these specific areas can and do happen, for sure. We're not doubting that at all. But to truly understand these things, we have to look at the energetic system that underpins these experiences in a more holistic way. We need to understand prana and the way that it moves in the body. We can only do that by understanding the nadis. Now, nadis are like energy channels. Imagine having blood vessels connecting up to your organs that keep you alive. Well, there is a network of energy channels in the system called Nadi, and science is yet to prove that, but it will prove them and will likely try and claim it, and the yogis will basically go, come on man, we've been talking about this for years. Nonetheless, let's use an analogy to describe how these things work. Imagine a hose. You're out in the garden trying to water your plants. Well, if you kink that hose, not much water goes through. Essentially, in our life experience, everything that we've done to suppress emotions or get ourselves all out of whack with life, it's all conditioned, there's nobody to blame. But as we do that, we're kinking up our hoses, we're kinking up our energetic system. And then when you take on some sadhana or you have a big experience, that's when we start getting twitches or pranic shakes in the system as we're doing our sadhana, because we've begun unkinking those hoses so that the energy can flow through more naturally. But as that happens, imagine that hose again, when you unkink it, it starts spurting and juddering. The truth is, chakras don't happen in isolation. They are connected up to a complete system of energy networks underpinning them. So the root of those is energy or prana. Now, you may have a rush of prana on a certain spot if all of these nadis connect nicely and there's no kinks in them, and that happens through sadhana, consistent practice and purification of the energetic system. That way the system can hold on to more energy without creating breaks leaks in the system. If something pops off prematurely, there are bound to be side effects like the feeling of blockages or pain in these areas because they're so constricted. So if you want the real deal, a total awakening of the nervous system, you've got to put in the effort every day. Rather than hanging your hat on a temporary experience of Shakti in a specific area of the body or a chakra or whatever, which as soon as the experience ends, just becomes another memory, then the ego grabs hold of that experience, doesn't it? And it starts claiming, oh, that's it. This is my, my heart chakra is awakened, or my third eye is awakened. But in reality, it's not like that. Opening and purifying the energy system has to be the main goal. And as you do that, through your consistent practice of your sadhana, these energy centers grow in their sensitivity and their ability to hold more purified prana. Then, and only then, maybe you could say that your chakras are awakened, but even still, it's too dramatic, and at that point you'd be so far beyond the point of the ego claiming anything that's temporary as a permanent state that you likely wouldn't even muster the thought, my third eye is awakened. It doesn't really make sense. Now, I'm not mocking anybody at all, and nobody's to blame here. Like, this is just an education process, and maybe you hate me for it, and that's fine. You can tell me in the YouTube comments section down below. Nonetheless, if we are wanting to really purify our energy system and begin allowing more purified energy into the system, then you can access our free training series down below. We can show you the exact method that the yogic tradition sets out. We're calling it a blueprint to inner freedom. We can begin understanding our inner workings if that's something that intrigues you. But whatever you choose to do, it's quite possible that we've learned quite a lot of things and made a lot of assumptions that might be incorrect about this spiritual journey. Like this whole thing about raising our vibration. Now, we're not doubting it's true, but if you don't get this about raising your vibration, you'll never be free. I made a video about that right there. Click it. I know you'll like it.